Hello and welcome to another Ken 7 chat on the Ken 7 channel. And joining me is the very lovely Paul Moran, young Paul Moran, I should add.
Paul Moran, who's just turning the sound off on his phone because I forgot the other week. And I hadn't
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, someone called you. Your missus calling you to see if you wanted anything for your tea and that.
Yeah, what did you have for later? No.
Paul, obviously, last night was a bit weird. We were 2-0 up, obviously. Inter Milan are a decent side, and I think they showed that last night. We were in that weird sort of place where getting beat was okay. Starting from the beginning of the match, he made a few changes. Hendo came back in, Jones came in, Jota started. What did you think about the team selection from the off?
Well, you say Hendo obviously didn't start. He come on as sub later on, didn't he?
Of course he did. Yeah. Sorry,
Thiago you threw me. I was thinking, Christ, I'm sure he didn't.
Sorry, Thiago started.
started.
Yeah, again, you are quite right.
I was quite happy Thiago was starting the match, but he didn't look fit to me. He looked off the pace.
Yeah.
They played well. I mean, they're a decent team. As my lad said to us during the game, he went, don't make any mistake here. These are a good team. You're not looking at a poorly organised, unskilled team here type of thing who were making us struggle. We were struggling because of how good they were. They were really good. It was one of them games last night. Obviously, when you get through the tie on aggregate, you can look back at it a bit more favourably. But it was a good game that last night. It was a good game to watch. Although as a Liverpool fan at the time, obviously when you're 1 down and you've got 30 minutes of being 1 down and 1 goal away from extra time or, 2 goals away from defeat, it's a different thing. But when we were playing near the end, again, jumping to the last 10 minutes of the game, I thought we managed it really well at the end.
Yeah.
There's people by us. My lads wasn't in the best of spirits last night for one reason or another, but people were going, attack, go forward. We're winning 2-1. We don't have to. People were forgetting it was 2-1, I think, just in the heat of the game. We didn't have to go forward. And when Henderson had come on at that point, and I think he made a big difference when he come on, passing the ball around up by where we sit by the corner at the cop end in the main stand, Henderson, Trent, Fabinho, and I think it was Keita.
Keita made a difference. He was very calm. He just kept the ball. I don't think he gave the ball away.
He didn't try and do anything spectacular, but it wasn't called for at the time. I mean, I think another thing, again, we're through, so you can make excuses for the performance. I think the wind affected the game a lot as well, because I don't know how that come across on the telly, because I've seen the goal and I've seen Sanchez's tackle on little clips on Twitter. I've not watched the game again other than live last night. And where we were sitting, obviously we're in row 26, the wind's blowing us.
Yeah.
So what it was like on the pitch, I'm not sure. But you see some of the people were whacking the ball down the line. It looked like it was heading towards the dugouts. And the next thing, it's bouncing 20 yards inside the pitch. And people were misjudging headers and they were misjudging the ball. It was very, very difficult conditions as well.
So I had Mo Stewart from the Anfield Wrap sat next to me, and he literally just went on about the wind the whole way through the game. And I was going, yeah, it is the wind, but look at that knobhead ball that they've just played there down the line.
The goal.
Like, no one's going to do anything with that, regardless of the wind. No. He was like, no, it's the wind.
Milan's goal, it come from a ridiculous cross area pass, and then Matip tries to play it down the line.
He does, yeah.
Instead of wellying it. Technical term, but instead of giving it the beans and letting it go, he tries to play it down the line. Trent's gone past it twice. They went past him the first time and passed him on the way back. And then that fella zooms it in. I mean, we had a perfect view of it, unfortunately. So as soon as it left his foot, it was it's not going to miss by much type of thing. You think of things in that split second, but you knew it was going to be close. But then, annoyingly for me, they did the same thing about 4 minutes later. We did another dopey pass across the area, so he just let a goal in doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, from when the Inter Milan left winger played that first time pass with his left foot, and then the ball got moved to Lautaro, who scored, it was a fantastic goal. But they should never have got the ball where they got it. It was a ridiculous. I think it was Verge who hit it across the box.
Yeah.
Because there was no danger. You look up and fucking, how did he get the ball? How did he get that there? Type of thing. You know, it's one of them.
Let's just have a quick chat about Milan, because I thought that they played well. They were playing very much man-to-man marking. Fabinho didn't have any time on the ball. In midfield, there was just no space for us. They were on us. They pressed. And to be honest with you, up until the time when the sending off happens, they pressed that whole time.
Yeah.
And we struggled with it. We couldn't cope with it. I don't know, right. It's hard to decipher whether we were lacking a bit of sharpness, because we've had a horrendous run recently in terms of game after game after game, or whether they just in time and space on the ball. And I would like to think it's the latter, because sometimes when we play badly, you have to give the opposition some credit. And I thought they played well.
Well, this is what I said to you before. You're playing against a well-organised, skillful team who, you know, again, stupid thing to say in the terms of this, if someone cuts this one bit off, but they play in the Italian league. And, you know, I like watching the Italian football. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But that last night, their pressing last night was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
You know, even Sanchez in the first half, when they're trying to play it out from the back, Sanchez is waving everyone forward and everyone's following him. And I don't think our forwards generally helped the play by holding the ball up last night. I don't think the hold-up play was very good either. But you can criticise us and then dismiss Inter Milan. You've got to give them a lot of credit for that. I mean, it's easy when you've won as well. You know, you got beat 3-0 there last night. You'd be sitting there now going, we were crap and it's his fault and this happened and that happened. They played very well as well. You know, they were excellent last night. And, you know, obviously, if it had been the other way around the fixtures, you don't know what would have happened. But again, if they come to Anfield in the first leg, they wouldn't have played like they did last night. No,
of course not.
They wouldn't have set up like that. They wouldn't have played in that forward-going motion. And I just think I thought our passing was a bit slack last night. I thought the pinging the ball around wasn't.
Let me ask you this. There was a couple of times, at least two, maybe even more, times when I said the word movement, and Thiago had the ball or Jones had the ball in the midfield, he looking up for a pass, and our lads up front were static.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
That's very rare that you see that. Now, I don't know whether that's because there was nowhere for them to run, but surely if they cross over or at least make some run, then space gets created for someone else and blah, 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 blah.
Well, you see when Diaz come on, the difference. Okay, again, it's late on. They played 20 minutes with 10 men there trying to get an equaliser.
Yeah.
And, you know, the 2-2 goal type of thing to make an equaliser. But I thought when Diaz come on, it opened up a lot more. I mean, you look at the chances we missed. You know, Verge hitting the bar in the first half when he should have scored. He headed another one wide for no apparent reason when he could have headed it in.
Matip hit the bar, didn't he?
Oh, was it Matip, was it? It's a long way from
the bar in the first half. You've got Mo hit the post twice, and then Luis Diaz. I don't know how Luis Diaz didn't score in the last 10 minutes.
Well, I thought Mo's first chance, that was a missed chance. The second one with it hit the post was like, you can say, that's unlucky. Because he caught that difficult swirling ball on the half volley there.
A great move for that, wasn't
it? It was. Again, you one goal away from killing them off.
Yeah.
You know, and we never killed them off. So obviously, but you've said it a couple of times now, we got through the tie.
Yeah.
Which is when you get drawn against Inter Milan, we get through to the next round. We've done well. Now, I was watching very briefly last night. There was a clip on BT Sport, and one of the pundits said, we'd struggled over the two legs and hadn't played well. Again, that was the face I did, what you've just done. But people just seem to say stuff for the reaction to it.
They have to say something, don't they?
To be fair, but you're saying we'd struggled over the two legs. We didn't struggle away.
No. What Norman, who quite often comments on YouTube when we go live, hiya Norman, he's basically reiterated what you've said. He said, we're in the next round of the European Cup. That's all that matters. The squad's being asked a lot physically at the moment and with the amount of games, but I'd rather be in the position that we're in than not. And he's spot on, isn't he? I mean, there was a lot of... I went for my walk this morning, listened to the Anfield Wrap. A couple of lads were quite downbeat about the performance, but not where it leaves us. One thing I wanted from their comments, and do you know when you sit in the ground sometimes, like where we sit, and I think you're just a bit further on, but we're quite low. You see the game completely differently as if you watch it on the telly or if you're a bit higher up.
Yeah.
And I thought Jones played well. Now, when I listened to the lads this morning, they didn't think he played well. they thought he struggled a bit. And I was going, have I missed seeing that, or what's going on? I mean, did you agree with that as well?
No, I thought Jones played quite well last night. I thought he was the best midfield one, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
There was a little bit of action with him when he got the ball, a little bit of movement. He was demanding the ball. He was going past people. He was doing stuff. Again, that's not to criticize. I don't think Thiago was fit. Yeah. I was surprised he played. I wasn't expecting him to be playing, but I think on a more better conditions night, shall we say. See, Thiago's strength's getting the ball and pinging it around, and he couldn't do it last night. He was into some of his passes and he was coming back towards him. I don't think people who watched it on the telly would appreciate what the weather was actually like.
Yeah.
It didn't look that bad, but there was occasions where people were hitting passes and they were coming back towards them. You know, they weren't expecting it. And someone hit one, they were trying to bend them down the line, and then one went flying straight out of play because the wind never caught it. There was a lot of things last night, but Jones played well, I thought.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised he took him off to bring Henderson on, but certainly Thiago needed to be hooked last night at the stage he was. And Fabinho seemed to be moving slow. He was late into his tackles and that. He wasn't moving well for me.
He did break up quite a few things,
but
though.
He does do that. That's why he leaves him there, because of it.
Which is just about being in the right place at the right time.
Play, he does, you know, he gets his little tackles in, and he mightn't get the tackle in and win the ball, but he certainly stops the play.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even last night again, you talk about people playing. There was a few times where Andy Robbo thought he was going. God only knows. He was trying to do that closing down thing, and they're too good for that. And he was running miles out of position.
He got sucked in a couple of times.
There was one near the end. He ended up in their area,
which I remember.
What are you with one goal and for 2-1 up? What are you doing there? You know, it's just imagine what Grandad would be doing if he saw him doing that.
Yeah,
he'd be saying certain things to him about
part of that was, and I said this in my post-match little chat. The crowd got angry. So there's a substitution. The referee, we need to have a chat about the referee. I thought the referee was awful.
Possibly not on a live chat. We don't need to have a chat about it.
He was awful. And that just fed into, we were all getting really annoyed, and the atmosphere in the crowd got a bit dark. And it was one of them where we were like, every single decision, we were up on our seats giving the referee loads. And that must feed into the players. And I think Robbo's quite emotional.
He's trying to do the right things. You know, he's trying to. But I don't know. Again, you know, you talk about stuff on this, and I mention my dad a lot. But a lot of my football stuff and what I see in football now, you think of my dad. And one of the phrases my dad used it when I was running a team in the late 1990s. And my dad come to watch a couple of times, and he just said to me after one of the games, he said, "You want to tell your lads there's a difference between closing players down and running towards them." And last night, Robbo was running towards people. All right, it's good for I'm not suggesting he's doing it to look at me, I'm trying my hardest, because he's trying to win the ball back. But there's times when he does it, and he does it well, but sometimes he just seems to get carried away. And, you know, he's running past people, and they're just playing the ball around him. That's what you want people to do. And against them last night, you know, they're masters of passing the ball around people, and they were doing it to him. They were doing it to a few. Again, it doesn't happen to Alexander Arnold, because he doesn't really close people down that much. Because a lot of his tackles like a dangling foot, hoping he gets the ball. But he's got other attributes. He doesn't need to go flying into tackles. So again, you can find fault or praise with near enough every player on the pitch. Alisson was doing his fanning around again. He was taking ages over some of them kicks. And I don't know why he needs to take so long.
I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with that.
I don't like
no, you're not a big fan. Let's just have a quick chat. Obviously, bearing in mind we're live, but just have a quick chat about that referee. I mean,
well, to be fair, Gav, I will credit me lad David. He said at the start, he didn't look who the ref was particularly, and he looked and he went, "Oh God." He said, he's in it for himself. He's Mr. Big M. And he was doing it. He was talking to Klopp. He was talking to the players. He wants to be everyone's friend. Then he doesn't give decisions because he's trying to let the game flow. Then he does and stops the game.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one by us in the second half. The number 5 for Milan, the big lad at the back. He brought Mo Salah down right in front of us. The ref gave a foul. The lad shook hands with Mo Salah. Then he shook hands with the ref, and then he shook hands with Mo Salah again, and the ref's walking away with his back to the ball. We're trying to take a free kick, and the ref's not looking.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying, look what's happening. Look around. You're not even watching. You're wondering if everyone's looking at you. You want to be the centre of attention all the time, and I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Someone put on Twitter last night, which made me smile. He's the Spanish Mike Dean. That he wants to be the centre of attention. He wants to do his little quirky runs, his play on things and all that. And I just think, I mean, there was one in front of us. I keep saying in front of us, but that's the ones you see clearly. Salah was waiting for a ball. He wasn't offside. And the centre half wellied him in the back, just completely wiped him out.
Second half, that won it.
And then he gave offside.
Yeah. Oh my God, I remember that. I was going,
no one, it was in front of us. Mo wasn't off.
Yeah.
Because to be fair to him, the fella ran into him, running away from his own goal and ran into his back. So how he was offside, because he wasn't offside when the ball was played, because he was already there. And then the linesman never flagged for offside, and the referee gave offside.
Linesman was a bit reluctant with his flag
he
as well.
He was terrified, the linesman. I don't know where he thought he was going. But the referee, certainly, he's a man who I think he'd probably be in front of the mirror a lot, making sure he looked all right, because that's the type of person he looked to me. He was refereeing the game. He was waving over to Klopp. He was, he sent their manager off. He sent their manager off after. Was it the manager or someone on the bench? I'm not sure who got sent off.
He sent the coach off.
Was it the coach? Someone got sent off. But the whole Inter Milan team were walking after him.
Yeah.
Just tell them to go away, as this is a live chat. Tell them to move type of thing. What are you doing letting them all traipse after you? You're the ref. You've got no authority. You're trying to be everyone's mate. Yeah, he wasn't there.
Just before I move on to the sending off, Norman's commented again, just echoing what we said about Jones. He's always on the move, looking to affect the game. Some things he doesn't come off. Some things he don't come off, but then doesn't mean that he's
moving. He was moving the ball quicker last night. Yeah. A few of the games he's played, he's getting clipped and caught. Yeah. But he was getting hold of it and moving it.
Yeah.
And then there's still people by us moaning.
Yeah,
he's back to Van Dijk. Oh, what is? Well, we've still got the ball. I don't know what you're moaning about.
Yeah, everyone sees the game differently, don't they? Just on the sending off, did you have any qualms that it wasn't a sending off? Someone on the radio on the way back was saying that he won the ball, but then he's gone right through.
It's the follow through.
Yeah,
I've seen various pictures today. There's one of them where he's got the ball and Fabinho's not really in the picture, but the next one he's cutting him in half and the ball's bounced the other way. You can pictures are deceptive.
Yeah,
you can take it, but you've got to watch the whole incident. I mean, I looked this morning, to be honest with you, when you asked about coming on here. I was out doing my walk, so I had a quick look, and I put in Sanchez red card. And if you put Sanchez red card in Twitter, what comes up are Keita's tackle at Wembley on Shalimar, making a night to remember, and Virgil van Dijk's tackle on the Napoli player 4 years ago.
Oh, right.
But nothing else comes up. And it's all people saying. And one fella put, explain to my 5-year-old why this is a sending off and this isn't. And I put on, you'd be better off getting a 5-year-old to explain to you, because you're looking at a still image of something that's not. It's like if you look at a picture of a boxer. Again, I know I appreciate him on the screen here. If he's the boxer's like that, you think, well, he hasn't thrown a punch yet. But if he's right through, on the camera, you think, well, that's a different camera angle. He's hit him now. Mm-hmm. It's two different things. You can't look at a picture. I take pictures at football, and I put some pictures on. The lad goes, my God, that's a horrendous tackle. And you go, it actually wasn't even a foul.
Yeah.
But the picture looks awful. And then Van Dijk's tackle on the Napoli player, there's a still image of it where it looks a really, really bad tackle. But if you go back, Van Dijk's got the ball, and then that's on the follow-through. Now, he got booked for it, Van Dijk. And this is the point we're making this morning. Sanchez got booked for that tackle. So
it was a booking.
They're putting on, why did Sanchez get sent off and Van Dijk never got booked? One, Van Dijk did get booked. And two, Sanchez got booked.
Yeah.
And then got sent. Because he did the tackle on Thiago in the first half, was worse than that one.
It was a definite yellow card. No one can tell me it was a yellow card. What was it? A straight red? No, probably.
No, I don't think it was a straight red. But the one in the first half could have been.
Yeah, of course.
But then he got Mr. Superman refereeing it, and he wants it to be all about him. So he's not booking people or sending them off, getting it all arse about face because he's trying to be everyone's friend.
Yeah. So, we had a couple more comments. Samir has just commented. Thanks, Samir. Watching from my armchair, Jones looked good. Thiago not his usual self. Possibly left too much for Fab to do. Interesting point. Diogo not his best game, and we should have had 3 or 4 goals. Much better performance than in Milan. The Diogo thing's interesting, and I know he's just come back from an injury, but sometimes Diogo plays, and I get the feeling, this is probably a bit harsh, but I get the feeling if he's not scoring, he's not contributing, and I don't know whether that's just me or.
Well, as said before, we used the phrase the ball wasn't getting held up by the forwards, and certainly Jota was possibly
it's not his strength at all,
the biggest culprit. But I mean, there's times when he does that little pass where he passes it to the opposition, and there's none of our players there. We comment on it. We say, just quietly say, we wonder what he was trying to do then.
Yeah.
What did he think he was doing then? To be fair, Bobby Firmino does it. He'll pass it directly to an opposition player, and you look and you go, I'd love to know what he thought was going to happen then.
Yeah.
It's not even a difficult pass to intercept, or, it's not rattled in and they control it and do well. It's just like a pass. But it was a few times last night, Jota, certainly, he's moving well with the ball, but it seems to me last night that the whole forward momentum of the team wasn't there until the last 10 minutes.
They were quite narrow, weren't they? They're playing a 3-4-3, and that midfield, the wing backs were quite, they created a unit in there, and it sometimes felt like we were outnumbered in midfield.
Well, we're reacting to how they played, and this is the bottom line again is what we said before: how well they played.
Yeah,
they stopped us doing what we wanted to do, which is the whole point of football. They sit there say, "Well, he should have done this, and he should have." It was just on a few occasions,
yourself, don't you? You always focus on yourself. It's like, we were bad.
Yeah, and that's right. You're trying to look at Mo Salah didn't do this, or Mane didn't do this, and Jota didn't do this. They weren't letting them.
Yeah.
And they set up to play how they played. And again, the man on the street, if you like, I'm not saying I'm any different to that, but I'm looking at how they played as well, and people don't. Yeah. He was looking on Twitter last night later, we were crap. Fancy getting beat. So, well, we got beat, but went through. We didn't technically. Because, as I say, this fella by us is shouting near the end, go forward, play it forward. I said, when we were 2-1 up against Norwich in the Cup, again, not comparing Norwich to Inter Milan by any stretch of the imagination, but you're 2-1 up, and that was the position we were in last night. And we were playing as though we were 2-1 up. But because we were 1-0 down, some people haven't got the, I'm saying intelligence, that's not the right word, because I don't know the lad who was doing it, but he's reacting to us being 1 down, not being 2-1 up. And obviously,
I thought we played that last 20 minutes when they had 10 men quite well, actually.
Yeah, well, I think them going down to 10 men won us the game as it stood. Now, obviously, what would have happened if, no one knows, and you can't say they would have scored again if he'd have stayed on. But they certainly didn't play after the sending off like they were before the sending off, because they'd lost that little bit of forward momentum. But it was a sending off at the end of the day, which is what we've just discussed. If you've been booked, you don't go to ground like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. He touched the ball first. We got the ball. To me, it's the follow through. It was a dangerous follow through on the tackle. So
big picture, Paul. Just before I let you go, we're now in the quarter final of the Champions League. We are in the quarter final of the FA Cup, 1 game away against Notts Forest from
Nottingham Forest.
The FA Cup.
Don't say Notts Forest. You'll be getting
say that. You get lynched, do you?
No, don't say Notts. It's Notts.
Right. I don't know anyone from Nottingham, so I'm not asked.
Anyway,
and then the league is all to play for. We've got a tough game on Saturday. It's Brighton away, 12:30. Not ideal. We seem to struggle down there at times.
Yeah, it's varying results, isn't it? We got that 1-1 that time when behind closed doors when they gave the penalty for
last minute.
Yeah, the foul on Welbeck, which you could look back at it. You can look back at every game and find fault with things. I didn't think it was a penalty at the time. I still don't now, but we've gone there and won 4 and 5-0 as well in the past. Don't think we'll do that Saturday. I'll actually be in mid-air while the game's on because we're going to Lanzarote on Saturday morning.
Oh, very nice.
Well, I obviously go to the home games, and we were playing United the Sunday. We were away due to my wife not checking fixtures before she books holidays, which is difficult to tell her to do so, like, obviously, because she's not got any interest in the fact that who we're playing while she books the holiday. But we were playing United on the second Sunday, so obviously we're playing Forest now. So A, we're away, so I won't miss a home game, and B, I'll be able to go to the United game when I come back off holiday.
Win-win.
So it's a win-win situation. But when we got to do away in the FA Cup, my lads were saying, you don't have some luck with these. It's like, it's the European games. See, we didn't know that this match was last night. So we're away next week. It could have easily been next week. But in all the fixtures always work out.
Falling in place for you.
Seems to not miss them. So my lad's not very happy, but bad luck.
Do you, did anything, or, you know, we struggled to get West Ham, although we won. And we've struggled again last night. Do you think there's anything in that suggests to you that our lads are struggling in terms of form, in terms of tiredness?
Again, you can be criticised by people for saying they're tired, you know, the life they lead, you know, training and playing football, and then, oh, I'm tired. It's a high intensity game we're playing. We played the League Cup final, 120 minutes against the top team. All right, the Norwich game is a different thing in the FA Cup. You know, they played well in that game, Norwich. Made us play for the 90 minutes. West Ham certainly made us play for the 90 minutes on Saturday. And then you've had another difficult 90 minutes last night. Again, you've got your rest time. You've got different players playing. They look tired to me. I'm not looking forward. I'm looking forward to going to Lanzarote, but I'm not looking forward to the match on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I think we'll struggle there. And then we've got Arsenal next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then the FA Cup quarter-final, I think, which is Sunday at 6 o'clock.
Is that Arsenal game the game in hand that we've got, or a City playing the same night? It is, right.
It's the one. Didn't it get cut? No, that was the League Cup one, wasn't it? They got called off and then played. You know, the semi-final got called off, didn't it? I'm not sure if everyone's playing next Wednesday. I don't think they are, because it was rearranged this not long ago, so I don't think it's a full round of fixtures. So it could be it's the game in hand. I fear. I don't think we'll get 6 points in the next two games. Put it that way.
Okay.
And we need to. I sincerely hope we do, but I wouldn't. It depends. Again, if you put the right team out again, which I don't know what the right team is.
Minamino there, who's in great form, and you know, it's not beyond the realms that he throws a little Minamino shout in, and Minamino bags 2 goals, and you end up winning.
Even
you know, fresh legs, fresh minds, isn't it?
Even Divock, you know, he adds a different element to the game. You know, people can say he's not the best player in the world, but he certainly adds a different thing to us going forward. So I thought he might have put him on last night just to play even the long ball up to him, because we weren't doing that. Everything was going into feet, and they were getting in front all the time. So, but you know, we're through. Again, it's like one of them things you're talking about it now. We got through. So,
brilliant stuff. Well, Paul, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I know you're a busy man.
I'm just off to Anfield Sports to watch Liverpool against Burnley. 1:15 kickoff.
Lovely. All right, mate. Well, listen, thanks for your time, mate, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.
It's good to see you, Gav. Thanks very much.
Top man, mate.
See you soon.